And welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I'm here with Member of Parliament Rick Perkins. He's the Shadow Minister for Innovation, Science and Technology, formerly Shadow Minister of Fisheries, Oceans, and the Canadian Coast Guard. And it's with that in mind that I'm going to ask you, Rick, just give us a sense of the commercial fishery. I know we talked a little bit about wharves and harbors and stuff, but give us a sense for our audience about the state of it, the good things, the bad things, things that need to be done, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it depends on the species. Some species in Atlantic Canada is 80% of the value of the Canadian fishery in terms of the commercial fishery. And so whether it's lobster, which is our number one species, to scallops, shrimp, snow crab, these are all important catches that we have that drive the economy in Atlantic Canada and in the Gulf of St. Lawrence into Quebec. Um, those species are in good shape. Some of the species, such as mackerel, herring, some of the other things that we've traditionally caught, are in a low level. Some of that is due to the changing conditions of the ocean. Some of that is due to, in my view, some poor science, and in some cases no science at all by DFO on the state of the stocks. They don't listen to the fishermen about what's actually happening in the water, which is a challenge. So it's if you're in the shellfish industry, it's going very well. We have abundant lobster stocks, and the prices are very good. Snow crab has faced a bit of a challenge because Japan was our major exporter, and they broke most of our contracts in the spring and are now buying their crab from Russia.
Mm.
Food is exempt in the war sanctions, and they can get snow crab for a lot less from Russia now because they're desperate for currency. So there's some challenges there. There's a lot of snow crab in the freezer. So we have a lot of bad decisions and inconsistent decisions being made by DFO on both coasts that is impacting the commercial fishery as well. So there's a lot of red tape and a lot of bureaucracy and not a lot of consideration for developing our commercial fisheries.
Yeah, that was I did not know that about the Russians and the snow crab industry, but surely fishers in your riding and throughout Nova Scotia, throughout the Atlantic, would want to open up like new export opportunities. Is there any thought of that, or is there any help from the federal government on that?
It's tough, right? Because eating seafood is either part of your culture or not. It's a big part of the Chinese culture. So, and the US culture. The US is our number one country for exporting seafood. China is very close behind now as they grow in their demand for it. Whereas India, you can't just go into India and create that market since there's not much tradition of eating seafood at the same level that we have in other countries. So, and it's taken probably about 20 years to develop the market in China on seafood, and they particularly shellfish, and they have helped drive the prices up and driven demand up, and which has been good for our industry. So it's challenging. Russia is a competitor. Russia is very big in certain species like northern cod, which we no longer have to fish, and in snow crab. So their economic situation is providing them with a bit of an advantage that we can't match because they're willing to sell it for cost or less at this stage.
Right, right. Fish farms, or is that still a
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Aquaculture is different on both coasts. The complicated Canadian federation, the federal government's responsible for aquaculture in the West Coast, and there are big decisions that have to be made in the next 2 years by DFO of whether or not they're going to continue to allow more than 100 locations of open net pen farm salmon to go. In Atlantic Canada, it's provincially managed. It's the only thing in the ocean that is provincially managed. So all the provinces are dealing with it differently. There's growing opportunities in Newfoundland for aquaculture because the water is very cold and the bays are very deep, and there isn't a lot of population anymore in some of those coves. Whereas the challenges in Nova Scotia is most of our coast is populated, and most people don't want Atlantic salmon pen farming in their backyard. In New Brunswick, with one of the largest producers globally of farmed salmon being Cook Aquaculture, they're very supportive of it. So it depends on the region. Within Atlantic Canada, there are different views. But it's an important part of feeding the world. The world needs more protein, and farm salmon's an important part of that solution around the world.